GMS Live Radio Guyana. Good night to you. Good night to you. And tonight's segment comes to you with event management services and also, hold on. Yes, just hold a minute for me, please, as I can fix this mic. Yes. And also, tonight's segment comes to you tonight with the Greenleaf Distributors. And also, to those who are listening, I just want you to know that it is going to be as business as usual, where we are extending our services on the GMS Live Radio Guyana for Okay, okay, okay. I think uh, it looks like I'm back on. Yes. Now, to those who are listening to the GMS Live Radio Guyana, to those who are listening to the GMS Live Radio Guyana, you're hearing that music. That music is set to run all the time. That's why, as long as the app is live, it doesn't have to be coming from me. The app is there, out there in that space. So it'll run the music all the time. For when I'm coming to you live, it is trying to get the access to have that app to function like now. To those who are listening would hear my voice now because I think I'm live back on. Yes. So, Gavin Matthews is try, but it doesn't have anything that will deter me from what I do. So, to those who are now looking, to those who are now listening on this, the GMS Live, I want to welcome you. I want to say to you that it is a pleasure to be back on air every day from Monday to Friday and giving you at least an hour or hour and a half. I would presume that I'm broadcasting live, so you'll be able to hear me. To those who are looking, yes. So, hold on. Okay. Okay. So, welcome to those who are now joining the via VMS Live, GMS Live, Radio Guyana, and the GMS Live Voice of Democracy. Tonight we can talk the thing. We will rise as a people, and we will rise in strength, we will rise in ability, we will rise in representation, we will rise as an economic base in this country that we call Guyana, so that we'll be able to represent ourselves, represent our families, our friends, Guyanese, all. Good night to you from Guyana to the Caribbean Isles, the West Indian Isles, the Pacific Isles, the British Virgin Isles, US, especially Mexico, US, Canada, UK, EU, China, Beijing, Hong Kong, Japan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, to the Australian continent that is affected by that underwater volcano that erupted near the Tonga Isles. Good night to you, and I know that the Tonga Isles is in total darkness. To those who might be hearing me, good night to you all the way from Guyana and to the New Zealand Isles. Welcome you tonight. For those who, especially those in the Tonga Isles area that are affected by that volcano, to places like the African continent, good night to you, the South American continent, Chile, Argentina, uh, Venezuela, Colombia, Suriname, Brazil, French and Dutch Guyana, the Netherlands, Curacao, Trinidad and Tobago, and to our sister republic of Barbados. A pleasant good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon to whichever part of the world you're joining us from. Good night to you. Now, I want to say this, that we have the pleasure at the GMS Live Radio Guyana and to the GMS Live Voice of Democracy to have sponsors who will be sponsoring tonight's show. And every night from now on, we give a shout out to EMS. As a matter of fact, I want to give shout out to Event Management Services, EMS, who you will get full services from, especially if you have transportation service that it needs to be sorted out, if you have uh, conferences that it needs to be sorted out and you need to have somebody to manage those services that you will be able to come to Guyana and partake of. You need someone to manage and to carry out some sort of event. Event management services is here at your rescue. We also have Greenleaf Distributors, who is making itself available so you can have a wide range of products that are homegrown from Guyana will be able to distribute these products to you, whether you want it packaged, you want it, I mean, packaged wrapped in a nice package, and you want it in whatever design and style you need, especially if you want it in vegetables and ground provision and dairy products. Greenleaf Distributors is here to give you that service. Welcome to you all. And Black Love. Black Love is a brand that is also contributing to this wonderful show, the GMS Live Voice of Democracy, and be able to meet your gains as in a design for you. It will be available to you, as a matter of fact, as of tomorrow. But I will put the design out there so you'll be able to make your orders. Now, as we want to talk before we go on to our conversation, we also make available to those who have death and announcements, and we'll be able to get it at a very cheap price. To those who would want to have that services done on the GMS Live Radio Guyana, deaths and announcements, also birthday celebrations, and all these things will be available to you on the GMS Live Radio Guyana. It will be on the GMS Live Voice of Democracy, but this would be under the Youth Empowerment section, and they'll be able to give you services as you need it right away. We will rise as a people. We will be able to, as a people, to proclaim and to pronounce what is ours as Guyanese. And I say that because the strength is within us. We will not bow out. Gavin Matthews will not bow out. I will not be silenced. I will not go quietly into the night. I will not be threatened by no system or no one. I'll be strong as ever, strengthened with the services not only to a people, but by faith and by understanding to know that I can stand in the face of death and wickedness. I will be able to proclaim not only victory, but to proclaim freedom to a people. Guyanese, the People's Progressive Party insists in making you slaves. The People's Progressive Party is insisting in creating a lifestyle for you so they can bring you into slavery, that you can sign your life away to them. And one thing I want to expound upon, and I want us to understand, I want us to listen to what is there for us to understand. Imagine, imagine you reopen schools and you're sending children out to school without a proper sanitization system to keep them healthy, to make them tomorrow's leaders. You're killing them at an early age. This is what this de facto administration is doing. You can imagine there is a rise in COVID 19 cases. There is a rise in this Omicron virus that is a part of the COVID 19. And you're wanting us to send our children to school to be infected by such a disease. Are you serious? Are you that serious? I mean, come on. Let's look at it, parents. Parents, let us keep our children home. I'm saying to you now is not the time. It is better for us to be educated about what is out there and what is dangerous. I am saying that. And look at it. You got a rise in COVID 19 virus cases. You got a rise especially in Region 4. We now become the super spreader Region 4, Region 10. And check it, we are predominantly black in a population in these two regions. And we are the people who are being affected every single day. If it's not us, it's our children. Come on, let us see where these people are taking us. They're taking us down a barrel of a shotgun and they're involving our children into it. You could imagine the Minister of Education is, and not only the Minister of Education, the Minister of Labor is going out there having a press conference talking about teachers not going to school, that the money will be deducted if they don't turn up to school in those particular days. You can imagine he's saying those things to our teachers. He's saying those things that they can be infected, and he doesn't understand what is going on. I mean, I don't know what's going on in his household, but are you serious? These are our tomorrow's future. Are you killing them out in the early age? Are you destroying their lives? Parents who are involved in sending their children to school ask the question, what prevention or preventative methods that the Ministry of Education has in place? Nothing. Ask them the question. They don't have anything. You can't even carry them to court if your child is infected. There are too many cases now, people are saying to us when they collect the first dose. Some people are being hospitalized. Some people are being hospitalized, and a lot of them are being hospitalized because once they collect the first dose of that vaccine, they're in hospital, and there are too many cases that are turning up. And then cost of living is high. It's rising to the occasion. Just to find a hospital bill is too much. How would these people be rendered assistance? They don't even have an antidote to say, well, even if you take this and you're infected, it will reduce the understanding that you will not, it will not destroy your immune system. It becomes it becomes a conversation on the immune system because nobody's pointing to the facts. And we are being affected daily by this super spreader of Omicron. We got to be serious, brothers and sisters. Guyanese all. This thing ain't got nothing to do with race. This infection, anybody can be infected. But why is the government ignoring? Why is the de facto administration ignoring this super spreader that is predominantly in the black populated areas? Why are they doing that? I mean, come on. Let's ask the questions. Who are being punished the most? Who are being turned up? Who are being turning up at medical institution needing medical advice, medical treatment pertaining to this are predominantly black Guyanese. And imagine they are creating events that are causing super spreaders. If you realize, you look on the Gavin Matthews show page, the GMS Live, on the Facebook, you'll realize that there are being videos are being posted on the page where people are ganging up in by the hundreds, trying to enjoy themselves, and they fail to realize the super spreader that is killing them out. Lots and lots of them right behind what's the hotel name? The Marriott Hotel at the Kingston Seawall. Right behind there. By the hundreds. And I'm sure that's a Sunday gone. Look at the cluster. Look at what is going on, and it's terrible in this place, man. Then 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 when we finish there, you got the instances that are keep arising when they're trying to take away our resources from us as a people. And I want to talk about that. One of our resources is food security in this country. Our food security is dwindling, and this is part where they will come in and they will exercise this complete takeaway of our food security that we as a country cannot balance ourselves. We cannot afford to feed our people. It becomes expensive. The fishing industry is one that is coming under serious attack. Then we have the industry of the vegetation, and it's predominantly chemicalized because all these things that are being sold in the market, they can't even last within a day or two, and it is so expensive. It is the erosion of our food security in this country. Imagine, imagine not only buying a gallon of rice. If you want a pint of rice, if you don't have $300 to $400 in your pocket, you can't buy a pint of rice, much as a gallon, much as a 5 gallon bag, much less sugar, much less milk, flour, much less the peas, much as all these things that are simple commodities for a household is so expensive to maintain and to buy. Our food security is being taken away from us. Simple things to grow and to be sold become so expensive. Why is it? Why are people rising the price of local produce that are being grown in this country? Are you serious? Are you telling me it's so expensive to grow these things? You don't have to beat the earth for these things to grow, they just grow. Why it's becoming so expensive? Why people are taking advantage of us? Remember, these people promised us that they will not only poison the food that they give, that they sell to us, that they make sure it's very hard for us to survive. And they are doing it. These people are the People's Progressive Party, and the private sector commission is making it hard for our Guyanese to live and to survive a common uh, to survive even the most common gross domestic product. You can't even afford to buy it, and that is what is destroying our country. Bit by bit, one man who's earning a salary now can't afford a monthly salary, can't walk in the market with $20,000. What will he get for it? What will he get for it? Nothing. And when poverty hitting you now, somebody decide to come and share $8 million worth in food service handouts. When a country who can afford all these things, we can afford to feed our people. We can afford to grow these things in our backyards. Guys, let's pay attention to what is going on. Food security is dwindling. It's happening from the most prevalent part of our country that normally grows farmers, that grows produce for us to feed us. It's becoming harder for them. Much less to those who are selling it, much less to those who control the price market, the retailers. There are people who are controlling the price market and rising the cost of food every single day in this country. Every day. And not only that, you can imagine it's roughly $1,500 a tray still for eggs. And it's not dropping. It's continue to rise. $600 for a one tub a pound tub of butter. $600. Can you imagine that? That's what I'm saying. It's expensive to go into the market with 10, 15, $20,000 because you still can't afford it. That is money is too little, and the cost of living is rising. Cost of living is rising so high at a rapid pace. Every day you go to buy something, the price is different. Suddenly you just can't afford it. The $100,000 that you're working for as a public servant can't do it, especially if you have rent, light bill, water bill, and then you got food to buy. They are pushing you into poverty. They are pushing you into that crisis mode. They're pushing you into oppressiveness. They're pushing you in such a way that you cannot even afford, not even to smile or to eat. It can turn up to one day a meal. Sorry, it's going to turn up to one meal a day. That is what is going to happen to Guyanese. And then we're coming back to a position where we're in place in that position where they have a high intensity of crime. They have a high intensity of prostitution. They have a high intensity of guns and illegal and illicit activity. All these things. Drugs will be on the rise. Drugs and the selling of drugs and the consummation of drugs will be the common thing of the day in this country because that is what is being pushed back to us. 60% of our GDP will come from the black market because suddenly to borrow money is going to be a hard thing unless some country is willing to assist us. And when the money comes, who you think will benefit the most? The PPP and their friends and families. To hell with the other 98% of the country. And this is the road we're heading down. This is the road we're heading down. There's such a neglect on the economy and upon the people that there's a rise in crime in every single corner you go in Guyana. And we got to get serious to what is out there. We're waking up, we're seeing it, we're opening the papers, we're seeing, we're reading about it. Voice of Democracy and the GMS Live Radio Guyana. Good night to you. Good night to you.
I just want to thank you for sharing your opinions. I just want to say that you're doing a good job and to keep it up.
Thank you very much. Very much
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay. I'll be very much happy, because these things needs to be highlighted. These things needs to be highlighted. If we don't highlight these things, nobody will know exactly what's going on in our country. Look, we got fires that continue to burn throughout this country. We got Lapakan that is actually gutted last night. We have these things that are continuing to happen that is tearing down, that breaking down our economy, breaking down our culture, tearing apart Guyanese. These things are continuing to happen when we need to say the right thing. We need to say the truth. We need to tell people the truth. We are being oppressed and deprived of our natural resources. We are being oppressed continuously. We need to bring our people to these attention. We need to bring our people to these things that are taking place, that are occurring daily, constantly. Continue to educate ourselves. When put our families to sit down and teach them, look, we gotta learn, we gotta brace for hard times now because we're going down such a dark and dreary road. The PPP doesn't intend for us to have a good life. The PPP does not intend for us to continue to enjoy the good life in Guyana. They don't want us to become first and second class citizens. They're looking for us to be third and fourth class citizens. They're taking away our constitution. They're taking away our constitutional rights, our civil rights, our human rights to exist as human beings, to exist as Guyanese. These people sit down every single day and study to think how to take our rights away from us. They're trying to make it hard. You see how constantly I got to be back and forth, either coming on before or after a particular time because they don't want me to sit and tell the truth. They don't want me to sit and to identify the truth that is happening in our country. Imagine I'm only one man and I'm a political prisoner in my own country. One man, much less if those who rise up. I can't do nothing. This is a particular terrorist administration who does not want you to exercise your constitutional right. It's a dictatorship. Imagine they're taking you to court for your freedom and your right to speak. They're taking you to court for that, and they're charging you under the cyber crime. They're charging you under the cyber crime because they want to take your rights away. You tell me that's a democracy? That's a dictatorship. And they don't care. That's why it takes people like me, revolutionists, to stand up and revolt against such cruelty, such autocracy, such dictatorship. And I will never sit down and allow this to continue to happen. Not in my country, not to my people. And I'm serious about that. Whether you don't like me or not, I don't care. I understand. But I will not sit down and allow this to happen to me, neither my children or my children's children. I will not be quiet. I will continue to stand and to revolt. I will continue to stand and advocate for my people. We need to get the drift. We need to get the right information out there constantly. We need to continue to educate our people. We need to let people understand this is not about who has the most money. This is about making the lives of people right, helping them to understand that we care about them, educate them, help them to be progressive, teach self-reliance so they can understand that they can rise up by themselves. We don't need to have an entertainment culture to gain money or to gain such rise in such a democracy. As a matter of fact, we do not even practice democracy in this country. The terrorist party don't promote democracy. They promote terrorism. They promote autocracy and oppression. That is what the PPP is all about. There's nothing good about them. Let me show you how simple it is. That simple walking exercise they had the other morning, where they went around cleaning up the place. For one day, it can cost the Guyanese public 100 million Guyana dollars, or no, US dollars. That little walkabout you see the Dunstock with a bunch of them, you will see the Guyanese public a bill for 100 million US dollars for the simple walkabout. 1 million US dollars it can cost them. Hold on. They got a bill to it. Everything that you see they do has a bill to it. And it will cost the taxpayers. The taxpayers' pockets will feel it. I am saying to you over and over again, these people do not care about us. The PPP is the worst that I could ever think about in the history of Guyana. They have never cared about Guyanese. When they were in opposition or when they were in government, they never cared about Guyanese. They are all for themselves. Those who get the crumbs, those who they get to make a lot of noise. But they don't give them anything else but crumbs. And they keep them as house slaves because they want them to enslave the rest of the population and continue to enslave the rest of the population. This is about a racist and a terrorist regime. That is all that is in them. That is all that is in them, Mr. Mr. Ramkilohan. I'm so much sorry for you. To those who are looking, I'm so much sorry for this guy because I want him to know Gavin Matthews is not all about money. Money don't move me. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care how you look at it. I am not the one that will sit down and accept the checks. Survival is not I know what to do. And if I live it or die doing it, that's my choice. Blessed is he who has his own. Yes, you can stay with that. I don't have a problem. I don't want it. Keep it. People's rights must be respected. People must give the rights to represent not only themselves, but to elect a representative of their choice. That is a democracy. We have never have that. We are continuing to be deprived. We are continuing to be deprived as a people and as a nation. We are continuing to be uh, 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 holding a stick that is carrying us down a racist line. We are continuing to experience oppression. And these people do not care. The more we die, it's the better for them. They don't have a voting constituency. Ask the people, they'll tell you. They can't find 25,000 people to continue giving them the election that they would always want to declare that they would keep winning. But I'm telling you this, I don't care who look at it, but we'll continue to go down a wrong road. We are not benefiting as Guyanese. The only way we can benefit is if we rise up and help ourselves, to defend ourselves, to represent ourselves as a people. The only way we will benefit is if we see these things, is if we uphold these attributes that are good for us. I had a conversation a couple of days ago, and I tell the individual that I had that conversation with, I said, he's telling me that I'm a PPP, no, I'm a PNC. And I told him, I said, I wish if I was, but I'm not. She said, why do you represent them? I said, I don't represent them. I'm not a politician. So I don't represent the PNC. I said, when the APNU AFC was in power, I couldn't get a job from them because I was known as a Jack Joe White. That's what was told to me. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a contract. But you know what I wanted from them? The peace that I enjoyed in that 5 years. I wanted to experience the democratic standards that I experienced in those 5 years. I didn't care if I didn't get a job from them. I knew how to survive. So I just don't care. So when he came to me and he felt what I told him, that I haven't benefited from the AP and UAFC when they were in power. Neither the PNC. I didn't benefit from them. I didn't benefit a thing. I didn't get a single dime cent. Whatever I had to work for it. But one thing I knew that I wasn't going to sit and accept is another term of the People's Progressive Party, especially when they were not elected. I wasn't going to sit down and accept that. That is why I'm here. And I will continue to be here constantly, every single day, as long as I'm given life. I will continue to come on this show and not only express my displeasures, but express the truth to the Guyanese people. These people were never elected. They do not know what is it to be elected. They have not a clue what an election is. They have never won an election. It has proven to me after their 23 years in office. Nobody had to bring stories to tell me from since 28 years ago. It has proven to me that they have never won an election. I took their attributes from the 23 years and I matched it with the past, and it is the same. The People's Progressive Terrorist Party has never, ever won an election in this country, and they will never win. They don't have a constituency. Everybody who knows them speak ills about them. Everybody who knows them experience the ill things, the dangers and the terrorism that they would have felt of tyranny and oppression from them. I can tell you that because I felt it. And I was working with them at the time. I've seen it and felt it. And I knew what I can afford to say because the facts and the truth is out there. That is what the People's Progressive Party is. And I want people to understand that. That's why I said we will rise. We will rise as a people and we will declare victory and we will unshackle ourselves. We need to educate each other. We need to come to the realization that these people mean no good for us. Money does not present anything good. So don't be fooled. The amount of things people got to do to keep their money in their pocket, people have to die for that. So don't be fooled. A man come and give you 2,000, 3,000, $4,000, 5,000. They want your life for it. If they can't get your life, you must be enslaved for it. Look at yourself. Ask yourself where you are and try to understand where you will be. You understand what I mean? So I know tonight was supposed to be an hour, but because of the late start of the show, the late start in having the internet running and the apparatus up and all these things, it's bringing it. I'm trying to see if I can get a better way to broadcast these things. So before I leave, I want to say that tonight's program is being sponsored by Event Management Services, EMS. They are the people that you can get all your information from pertaining to transportation, pertaining to planning events, pertaining to things that you think will benefit your company and you as an individual can set your meetings. They can do most of anything that they can do for you, especially to plan your events. And just to make sure that hold on, just to make sure that that information is correct, I want to send the numbers. The numbers is 6210197. You can call that number for the planning of your events, and also that same number is for the Greenleaf distributors. It's one company. It's just two different portfolios under one company in Greenleaf distributors. They're the ones that are responsible for your greens, your vegetables. They can package, they can wrap it, they can send it to you at a reasonable price. Also, your dairy products, you can call that number and they can take your orders 6210197 and to call the 611 6575 for the Black Love jerseys that I will post them so you can make it available to you to those who want to place your orders. And just to make sure that these promotions is what make the GMS Live Radio Guyana function and works, and also the GMS Live Voice of Democracy, so I can keep on bringing the good news to you. So I want to say to you, stay safe. Thank you very much for joining me tonight for these couple of minutes, and I'll be able to come to you again live tomorrow night. So look out for me in my best to make sure that this program is brought to you live. So stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask, and don't forget the little ones you take into public places. Today, I had the opportunity to be informed by Facebook that I had some more votes that were coming in on the referendum. I had 10 votes today, and I was so happy to know that people are still voting on that referendum. And I very much appreciate if you continue to vote. So this is Gavin Matthews saying good night. Cheerios for now. Stay safe until tomorrow.